Just a week out from the massive UFC 320 card, where 2 titles are up for grabs, the co-main event between Cory Sandhagen and Merab Dvalishvili is heating up in a big way. Sandhagen just dropped a statement on Instagram, warning the champ that this time he's walking away with the belt. Meanwhile, Merab isn't backing down at all. In fact, he keeps doubling down that he'll stand and bang with Cory on the feet. At first, fans thought he was trolling, because why would Merab abandon the style that made him champion? But the plot thickened when his longtime coach Ray Longo revealed that the champ has been improving everywhere, not just wrestling, and even hinted that the champ has knockout power to put Cory away. So the question heading into UFC 320 is simple but massive. Will Merab come in with the same relentless style that made him champion, or is he really serious about turning this fight into a striking showcase? Either way, Ray Longo has promised Dvalishvili is a different animal this camp, and if he does choose to test his hands, Sandhagen better be ready for a version of the champ we've never seen before. Let's dive in.
For a guy who hasn't won the ultimate prize, and I know Kenny and a lot of other guys are really excited to see what he can do with this Herculean challenge.
Listen, I've always been a big Sandhagen fan from day one. You know, another guy, I like his attitude, I like his approach to everything. Look, Sandhagen's dangerous, and this is his one opportunity, right? He's got what? This is like you said, Herculean. Was that the word you used, task?
I don't even like that fucking word either.
Yeah, well, whatever. But it is a big task. But I tell you, Sandhagen, you obviously you can't go to sleep on a guy like Sandhagen. But I think he's only got one way to get Merab out of there. Merab, he's got to slow down a freight train in front of him. But that Sandhagen is super talented.
Alex Pereira just dropped some interesting insights about his first fight with Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 313 and why things went so wrong. Pereira admitted he was only at 40% that night, saying he was shocked he even made it to the octagon given how rough his training camp was. That fight was already surrounded by controversy, and it turns out Ankalaev had his own complaints too. He claimed that Pereira was greased during the fight, telling his corner in between rounds that Pereira felt way too slippery and that it affected the grappling exchanges. We need to mention that Magomed failed to take Alex down even once in their fight. In fact, Alex was the one to score an unofficial takedown on the Dagestani right after the bell rung at the end of a round. Ankalaev stopped short of a direct accusation, but made it clear he felt something was off. Now with UFC 320 right around the corner, everything is on the line. Pereira wants to prove his dominance at light heavyweight, while Ankalaev is coming in hungry to cement his superiority over the Brazilian and start a new reign. This fight could completely reshape the division. What do you think? Will Pereira shut down the doubters, or is Ankalaev the new rightful king?
Deal with that is not cool, but honestly, man, like if I put together everything that was going on with me, and I'm not gonna say right now, it makes me even happy that I was able to do the fight that I did under everything that was going on with me. I'm not trying to talk over there, anything like that. Of course, I'm not happy that with the loss, but knowing my potential and the way that I fought, I'm actually even surprised that I was able to fight like that under everything that was going on with me.
What was the most difficult part about dealing with Ankalaev in your first fight in March?
I think the conditions that I was coming to that fight, So,
I mean, were you 50% of what you normally are in that fight? 40%? Are you willing to put a number on it?
Honestly, I was about 40% on that fight, on that night.
Wow.
And obviously, it's going to be much more this time. But if I'm only 50%, that 10% is going to make such a great difference. They're going to leave no doubt for everybody.
Sean Strickland recently got into a heated physical altercation with a sparring partner at his gym, with tensions rising to the point where threats were made to escalate the conflict beyond the realm of sport. UFC light heavyweight champion Magomed Ankalaev, who has been training alongside the former middleweight champ for some time now, opened up about the incident during a podcast appearance. Ankalaev, who is gearing up for a big rematch against Alex Pereira and is currently riding a 14-fight unbeaten streak, detailed the intense training sessions he's had with Strickland, who's been one of his primary sparring partners over the past several months. Although Strickland doesn't have a fight lined up at the moment, he's been staying active in the gym and helping others prepare. During his recent conversation with Aslanbek Badayev, Ankalaev recounted a troubling situation that unfolded not long ago. According to him, Strickland's unfiltered and often provocative personality has occasionally led to friction with fighters from Ankalaev's region, particularly when it comes to cultural or religious sensitivities. Ankalaev explained that while American Americans might brush off certain remarks, including disrespectful comments about family, fighters from his background take such matters extremely seriously. This cultural clash contributed to several tense moments, with one particular incident standing out: a sparring session between Strickland and a Russian MMA fighter, Zelim Imadev, that spiraled out of control. The two reportedly continued fighting past the round's end multiple times. Imadev was eventually expelled from the gym for this behavior, but after being allowed back in, the conflict reignited almost immediately. Once again, they refused to stop at the bell, and Imadev allegedly tried to lure Strickland outside the gym, issuing violent threats in the process. Although Strickland didn't leave the gym to engage further, Ankalaev emphasized that despite the chaos, he considers Sean an excellent sparring partner, someone who constantly pushes the pace and competes hard in training. He closed by expressing confidence that Strickland has what it takes to become champion again. Jon Jones couldn't resist taking a jab at Dominic Reyes after the former rival's brief resurgence ended in brutal fashion. On Saturday night at UFC Perth, Carlos Ulberg absolutely destroyed Reyes with a knockout that left no doubt Ulberg is a serious force at 205 pounds and could be eyeing a title shot, while Reyes' attempt to get back into the mix ended in the cruelest way possible. Right after the fight, Jones tuned into the UFC's live post-fight press conference on Instagram and asked one simple and ironic question: did Dominic win again? The jab was classic Bones, a subtle but sharp mock at someone who has been obsessively talking about defeating him since their clash in 2020. Fans immediately reacted, some laughing, some shaking their heads. The jab was savage, and it hits even harder considering what just went down. This might very well mark the end of Dominic Reyes' UFC career, even though he hasn't made any official statements yet. Ulberg's brutal knockout has instantly put him in prime position for a title shot, though of course we still have to see how Yuri Prochazka versus Khalil Roundtree plays out first. Though it's important to mention that both Yuri and Khalil have had their shots at the belt and they both lost. Carlos is a new face, and fans shouldn't be all that surprised if he gets the next title shot, no matter how the Yuri versus Khalil fight ends.
I am prepared to be a backup for next week. Fly me to Vegas and I'll be there. I am not gonna eat or drink anything today. Go spend some time with the family, and if need be, I'll be there to back up anyone for that title shot.
And in terms of next week for that title fight, did they give you an answer on you possibly being the backup?
Not yet, but I'm just putting it in there. But I'm definitely flying out there. So Hunter said, "Yep, you're going to jump on the plane, on the private jet, and then and we're going to be there. So at least we're going to be there." And I said that if need be, I'll keep my weight to a minimum.
Oh, that's
and
tough, man.
and I'll be there.
Yeah.
But hey, man, it's those opportunities,
yeah,
right?
You're 100% right.
100%. And I will say, if to compete for a title shot with all the light heavyweights on the card next week, you punched your way into it. There hasn't been a better performance in light heavyweight for a long time.
That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.